Welcome back to Farmbiz with Markay. Now, you remember I said I was going to get additional bed drinkers to add to the one I already have in this experiment, in this bag that I'm trying to try out different brands of professional feed to see the result we are going to get. So this is the bed drinkers that I got. This is a bit different from this because this is Indian type of bed drinkers. But I think this is from China. I wouldn't know, but they work based on the same principle. So though the assembling is a bit different from how you assemble this. So I'll be showing us how to properly assemble this so that it can work the same way this other one we already used to. Now the same accessory that we have in this other one is what we have here. We have this that we can screw to this end. We also have this that we can as well pass through this other end. After we have the seal that normally shuts off the water once it gets to the level you adjust it to. We have this one there. We also have this. This will help us to connect to our 3/4 pipe. This accessory you are looking at here, it will help us connect to our 3/4 pipe. I'll be showing us how to install this to our existing watering system. Now this stuff you are seeing here, it helps to shut off the water that is coming. You see, by the time you blow air in here now, it won't pass through. By the time you press it again to this end, that's only when air will pass through. That's when water will pass through. So this helps you to shut it off and then open it again. That's how this one works. Oh, I'll be telling you how to do this whole installation on our existing drinkers. That is on our existing 3/4 pipe. Now normally you have this rubber or plastic knot that they normally use it to tie this stuff to the 3/4 pipe. So I'm trying to disassemble it so that you see how it is. Okay, now you see how this one is. So this will pass through that 3/4 pipe before passing it through this other end to screw it in properly. So I'll be showing you how to do the whole thing. Please, in all you do, this seal you are looking at here is very, very important, extremely important, because if you fail to put it, you'll be having a whole lot of leakage. Your pen will be so flooded with water. So ensure that seal is always there. Don't remove it. Just leave the seal the way it is. So we also have the spring that helps us to also regulate the level of the water in the bed drinker. So we have this. We also have the hook that we can use to hook the bed drinkers to wherever we want to hook it to. Now the other accessory that came with this is the hose. This is about 1.5 meter hose that came with each of them. So that's what I'll be using to install them. But this hose is a bit different from this one that came with the Indian type bed drinkers, in the sense that this particular one is larger in diameter, as in the mouth is larger than this other one. This one is smaller, this one is larger. So it also means that where you push the hose to, this is bigger than this other one that we are used to. So irrespective of that, the hose will still do the same work for me. Now in trying to install it to my existing system, I constructed something like this. So this other end now will screw to my existing system. That is this is a 1/2-inch female socket. Now this is where I'll be installing the bed drinkers water that accessory that will bring in water to the bed. This is where it's going to be if I'm making use of this. But if I just want to add it to my existing point where I already have the nipple drinkers cup, all I need to do is to remove the one cup and then put this one there. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe some other time as I'm expanding the pen, that's when I will have to introduce this other one. Now another thing that didn't come with this bed drinker that ought to have come with it is the adjuster, the rope adjuster that we normally use to adjust this Indian type bed drinker. So it didn't come with any rope adjuster. So that means we'll have to make our own rope adjuster to adjust the bed drinkers. Now you remember the feeder rope adjuster that I made some time ago? That is what we have been using to adjust our feeder and drinkers. So it's the same rope I will use to adjust the level, the height of this two bed drinkers. Remember, because we have 3 partitions, we'll be installing one of this and then 2 of the existing one. That's what will be. So this one will just be on standby. So let me quickly show you how to assemble the whole thing so that you can do it in case you have this type of bed drinkers. Okay, in assembling this system, the very first thing you do is to assemble this other end before coming to screw it to this end. Now remember, this bed drinker didn't come assembled the way it is, the way you are looking at it. Now this other end is removable. See, you can screw it and remove it. This is removable, it's detachable. You can remove this, and this is the end. Remember, the bed drinker has this weight, this something that you can feel, put in some weight, that this you can fill in some water to be able to help you adjust the water in the bed drinker. So, but this one doesn't come with something like that. Instead, there is a space here that you can actually put some weight to be able to help you achieve that same purpose that the one in Indian bed drinkers can help you achieve. But I discovered that when I put water in here, it wasn't stable, it was dangling, so it can lead to water pouring in my pens. Okay, this is the grinder that I decide to test out, that I put inside to see if it will stabilize the bed drinkers for me. Now, the Indian bed drinker doesn't take you all this stress. As soon as you fill that water and position your stuff, everything is good to go. So let me see if this will resolve the issue. So this is where initially I placed some water there. It didn't do the job well for me, so I need to try out some granite stone to see if this will resolve the issue. Okay, this is not much. Let me screw it. The weight side of it is settled. So the next thing we need to do is to first assemble the seal to this end. This is the seal. We need to put it here. Please ensure you assemble it just the same way I'm doing it now. After putting the seal, the next thing you need to do is the spring. Put the spring. After putting the spring, then before you now pass it through this end. So after passing it through this end now, there is this screw, this plastic screw. You push it in and then screw it a bit, because this is what you actually use to adjust the amount of water that will be inside these bed drinkers. So this is done now. So once you are done with this, you can now screw it to this end. Just put it and then screw. So ensure you screw it firmly. So this is it. Now this is where you now tie your rope to hang the bed drinker. So this has been assembled now. The next thing we have to do is to install this one on our existing drinking system, so that we'll be able to connect the hose from to this end and then the other one to this end. So it's as easy as that. This spring and this other one is for the second bed drinker. So let me quickly go and make the connection to our existing drinking system so that we can connect this. Okay, we have assembled the whole thing already. The next thing now is to add our adjuster, the rope that we can use to adjust the height of this bed drinker. So that we do by passing this rope in here. Remember, this rope I made myself, and then pass it through this other end. Now, in case you don't have this feeder adjuster, this stuff that I made, you can actually make use of this one. So let me make use of the one that came with it, so that we'll be sure that we are using the whole thing that came with this system. So you see how I connected this adjuster here now, the one that came with the bed drinker. So you tie the rope to one end like this, pass the rope through this other end. Then if you want, after adjusting it, if you want to hook it, you now pass it through this other end and hook it. So you see now it can't go down. It has been hooked already. So let me go and hang this now, then show you how I connect the whole thing. Okay, now this is where I need to install this this particular one. Now you know there is a hole here where I installed the nipple drinkers. There is a hole here where I installed it before. That's where I need to install this particular one. Now after placing this plastic around the pipe the way it is now, the next thing you do is to face this end to this let that U plastic as it is now, let it pass through this other end. Okay, after placing it across like this, do you see how it is now? Then you need to locate that hole where you need this stuff to fit in. So the hole should be somewhere here. Okay, it's here. So that's this thing has to enter like this, and then once it enters, you now ensure you tighten the whole thing up. So let me quickly tighten it up now. Okay, now you can see I've already screwed the the plastic nut to that to the U plastic there, but it's not tight enough, so I need to like use something like spanner to ensure I tighten it properly. This should be about okay, this is 13 spanner, but I don't want any form of leakage. That's why I'm like using this spanner to be sure that it's tightened properly. Okay, now you can see our installation. The water is coming in. You see it's coming in through this transparent hose and then going into the bed drinkers. You can see is dropping in the bed drinker. So it will get to a stage, once the water is much in this bed drinker, it will just shut off. That means the weight will be much, the water will shut off just like the other one. Now it seems the stone that I put inside that place has really solved this my problem, because the bed drinker is stabilized now. It's positioned the way it ought to be positioned. But okay, I just need to adjust the level of water inside this bell using this knob, this yellow screw here. So that's where you adjust the height. So this is it. This is very okay now. So the stone, the granite that I put inside that space inside this stuff has actually fixed this issue for me. Now another thing I also observed about this bed drinker, somehow as the water is running down from this end, there are some that goes into inside that space that is inside this point. Some goes in there. That means from time to time I need to be washing. As soon as I am washing this bed drinker, I need to open up this space and then check if there is water there, as well as wash that space. When I put water there initially inside that hole that is inside this point, it didn't work well for me. It was just sliding to one side, and that will lead to a whole lot of water flooding my pen. So this is the best option, putting some stone inside that space you have in there, and then adjust the water level using this knob. So if the more you screw it down, the more water that will be inside this bed drinker. The less you screw it down, the less water that will be inside this bed drinker. So that's how this particular one works. Though that Indian type, that's the same method that it used, that the working principle as well. So this is it. Thank you so very much. If you find this video helpful, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification icon, like, comment and share, as this will help us to grow our channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.